What's up, everybody? That was really abrupt. I have no transitions yet, but I thought I'd try out a new little slate there. I actually right clicked on this live scene to see if that would work, and it went ahead and started it. So here we are. I was ready for that. Hope everybody's doing good. We are early. I don't think that's ever happened before. It's never happened before. This is the first time ever. Um, yeah, I got some weird stuff tonight, man. This is great. Like, I've got this giant 3A robot. I've had this for a little while now, and I finally started getting around to kind of tinkering with this thing. What I've got to do is fix. Look at it. Just to give you an idea, if you're not familiar with 3A products, or this one at least, this thing is huge, man. Like, the hand is like the size of my hand, and that's really big. This is basically a 1-1, almost a 1-1 hand repair here. But the arm looks like to be that of a healthy 1-year old, maybe 2-year old. That's a big arm. I don't know. That'd be a big baby. I don't know. We'll see. I need to reattach this to a piece that is not on here currently because I took it off. And I need to actually open this guy up. And what I've had to do here, and let's put him under the old Crew Maroon microscope. This thing is so awkward because of this chain. I need to get this backpack off here. This is what I need to do. Really, it's something I've been working on. So it's got these little things right here, right? Like these little holes, and basically there's a cover over these, and these covers cover up a screw, and there's a screw down in there. I was able to get this one. I was able to get that one. The thing that really sucks about these, and if you guys know a better way, then please tell me. But generally, what I have to do is take a drill into it. Then I take a screw, put it inside of the little cap, and then I gotta pull it out with a pair of pliers. And then I'll go back in. I'll sculpt over the hole, and I'll repaint. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to get these things done. I've never found a way to pop them out without doing some sort of damage. And the fastest way to do it now is to just drill in, put a screw in, and pull it out. Like I said, if you guys know of any other way, cool. Heat and pop would be wonderful if it wasn't all hard plastic. It doesn't work. It sucks. I've also got this one's not weird, but I got a Mezco Harley Quinn here. This is the Playing for Keeps version. I gotta fix that hand, and I'll be making one of those from scratch. If time allows, I actually have to remove the outfit from this, which I've been kind of tinkering with for a few days now. This is for a friend of mine, Jurassic Jesse. If you guys aren't following Jurassic Jesse, you should. If you love dinosaurs and if you love toys, especially if you love both of those things, then definitely follow him. He's a fellow chat migo. I love me some toy migos. If you guys wouldn't mind, do I have to do this now? If you guys wouldn't mind hitting that like button, I guess it helps me out. I don't know. I don't know. If you really want to help out and you got some extra cash, you can subscribe to the Patreon. It's down the little things right there that you can do. You can do that. I put it up last week, and got 2 people. It's pretty cool. I did it because I actually had a lot of people that said they wanted me to do one, and then I got 2 people to jump in, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, so we're just kind of starting out. It was also during the week of Comic-Con, which is probably a bad time, and some people just don't really care. So it's whatever. It's how it goes. But yeah, if you want, I'll just plug that. There we go. Now let's get on to the repairs. Something fun happened today. So in trying to get this guy off right here, what I have to do is there's a screw down in there, right? And I need to get this backpack off. So I'd actually drilled into here. There was it looked like a cap. And so I drilled into here, and it did nothing. There is not a screw under that. That really sucks. This plate feels, it's attached somewhere, and I'm pretty sure it's through here. And I don't even know if taking this off is going to help anything at all. As far as this plate goes, I know taking this whole thing off is important because I need to get down into this screw hole right here. So I'm gonna kind of mess around with this a little bit more here before I go doing this. But what I did is I was like, man, I can't get any screwdriver down in here. I don't have one that's like long and thin enough. You'd have to have, it would have to be very, very long and thin to get down in there without bumping into this freaking thing. As you can see, like this is this is a pretty standard size, I would say. So we're trying to get down, see how it stops? Well, we haven't made it there, so we're about halfway there inside. We Bon Jovi'd it, you know what I mean? So what my grandfather and I came up with was I was in his shed and I found this. And it's like kind of a makeshift flathead, but it looks like it's been bent. And I don't know if this was broken or bent like that. He's like, wow, that thing's really bent. And I was like, yeah. And so I was able to like basically put it in here, and I was like, you know, I could hear it hitting the, you hear that? I can actually hear that, like hitting it, but I can't get a solid connection due to the shape of this. Now I could probably sand it down, but I don't know if that's going to work or not. So then my grandfather had this screwdriver, and he's like, well, that's a junk screwdriver. I was like, that looks like a pretty good one. They don't make them like they used to. And he's like, yeah. He's like, well, this one's in my junk drawer, so we can do whatever. And I was like, he was going to take the whole thing out to give me like just the length that we thought I might need. And I was like, you think you can bend it? And he's like, oh yeah, it'll bend. He puts it in the vise, and he's like, yank, yank, pop. And I was like, well, okay. So it breaks, and I was looking at it, and let's see here. I've got to see if I can't get this out. This is funny. So I picked up the pieces, and I noticed like this. This is how it broke. This is exactly how it broke, obviously. But if you were to take the pieces like so, makes it like nice little 90-degree angle, right? Which essentially would fit down in here, and you could ratchet it, right? But the problem is, you know, it's not just gonna stay like that. And unfortunately I do not have a welder. Don't have that. So I took like these like electrical wire, like crimp kind of cables, and I tore off the plastic, and I've been bending this thing around. So what I think I'm gonna do here is I shaped it to where I can fit this in here, right? And then I shaped it to where I could fit this in here. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to dip both of these ends into some JB Weld, like not Super Weld, JB Weld, and I'm gonna leave it overnight, and in the morning I should have a new crazy tool, and I should be able to bend it some more. But you can see, like, I was crimping on this thing so hard, trying to get it to like stay in there and make a tighter fit, and it just won't do it. So even I was like wanting to try it, just like, so I put it kind of down in here, and this is what makes me nervous. Like, even with it in here, I should be able to, like, I can't seem to find where it's at. And I think if I had a more secure grip on it, maybe I could do it. Or maybe I'm not supposed to get to it. The problem that I'm having here is that I can't freaking see. I can't even see the thing. Like, even if I used, like, I got a magnifying glass on here, and it's like I just can't get enough light down in that hole. So what I'm thinking is that I shouldn't actually have to use this crazy tool, although I'm probably going to make that tool anyway, just because that's freaking awesome. That's something that my grandfather always did, and it's really awesome that me and him got to kind of go through that together. I don't know, there's a tool that I've used, and you guys have probably seen it before, is this one right here. It's like just this little tiny screwdriver once again, and it's like just a makeshift kind of knife, and this thing is really cool. It's super short, and it's crazy strong. I've stabbed myself a few times with that thing, on accident, of course. Anyways, was really fun to kind of make some crazy tool. And I wish it would have bent just like this one. That would have been awesome. But it was really funny to just see if he's like, pop. Looked up. I was like, that's a classic moment. So, anyways, that was my lunch break today. So I hope that was neat. Nobel Prize said, I saw your IG post about adding swivel to DC Bombshell's Harley. Is that wooden frame thing a new way to do some near perfect cuts or something? I wouldn't say it's new. I did these a while back, and I've done them a few times. The problem with it is like it doesn't really last very long. The reason why is because you're putting a blade down in there, and also each one has to kind of be customized to per figure, so you can kind of move that piece if you wanted to. If you wanted to, you could technically cut a slit in your wood, and you could slide those pieces. But what I did was I took it and cut down a little bit with a bandsaw, so you have like a guide that's allowing you to cut straight. And yeah, it was just something kind of fun to try out. I did it before. I kind of have, it's much faster for me to like just kind of do them here. But the cool thing is with that little apparatus, I think I might have an old one. I thought I had an old one lying around, but maybe I don't. I usually use the wood just for clamping because it's softer than, anything else. But I guess I don't have it on there. It must be at the other place. Anyways, yeah, it's I mean, for people who don't have a steady hand, it's also much safer. You can heat up your figure and then pop it out there, so it's pretty cool. It just takes a little bit of, really just a bandsaw. You could possibly do it with a hacksaw, but I'd rather do a bandsaw just because you can put the two pieces together and hit them in there, and it's gonna cut just enough, for you, and even. So, and then you just got to screw them on the bottom, and then you can kind of tighten wherever you want those to go. So just screw from the bottom up with a flathead wood screw, and it'll keep them intact. It's a real simple design, man. It's like basically just like two pieces of wood. That's it, and scrap wood, so it's not a big deal. What's up, Darth G? How's it going? My man Samurai Chris is here. What's up? NYC Figure Fanatic said, left my McFarlane Joker Titan in the car a few hours during this heat wave. The elbow joint snapped the second I touched it. Oh, dang, it broke? Eesh. That sucks. I haven't heard of that happening. That's crazy. What's up, Brian Pena? What's up, oh, it's Nick. I always want to say San Shoryu. Nope. It's Nick. Dr. Nick. Glad you guys are here. Yeah, so let's mess around with this one. I didn't really, unfortunately, I don't have much of a, that's why I called it unusual repairs, because going into this one is so awkward. It's ridiculous, man. Trying to find a way to, and I'm trying to see if it's like, is it the angle? Because I know these things are really, really strange. So maybe coming in from the back wasn't the right way to go about it. I'm trying to make sure that the camera's picking it up as well. Let's see, does this, I really need to get a new chair too. Listen to this thing. Of course it won't do it whenever I need it to. It's usually in like voice chats when we're in like a chat or something like that, and I'm sitting there working, and they're guys are like playing a video game. They're all working together, and I'm like, Jesus, stop doing that. I don't know if, I think, let's see, we'll zoom in. Oh, it'll zoom in. Okay, that's as zoomed out as we get. That's okay. Where the heck did that piece go? Oh, it's in there. Okay, so yeah, I can't seem to find a grip, which really throws me off. Like, I can hear it like clinking around in there, Just like, where's it at? Where's the screw at? And again, like, I don't want to, I probably need to get this thing off anyway, because I took this top off of here, and I think I need to reattach it. It was just glued on, so it's not really that big of a deal. I just want to make sure that it goes back on correctly. Don't want to leave this in a worse shape than I found it. But gosh dang, is this thing weird. It's just super strange that I can't. I can only assume. What's getting me is I don't know if this is like, if there's screws in here facing down, or if there's screws in this piece facing up. You know what I mean? So without knowing what to do, it's really, really weird to know what to do. It's funny you said that about, I mean, it's not funny, but it's interesting about the McFarlane in the heat, because I've done that a few times to do some thigh cuts, man. If it's like this Texas heat, you can drop a bunch of them in there and just leave them in the car and then pop it open. This is, I actually had to look it up. Somebody asked me what this was, and so I had to look it up again from the client. This is a... I just looked it up yesterday. Hang on. Here it is. Here it is. It's a 3A TK Hunter Valley. TK Hunter VALI. Volley? I don't know. It's supposed to look like this. But as you can tell, it's far cry from that right now. So this thing's is like twice. I mean, it's got legs and everything. It's got a... Anyways, all that stuff. But, oh man, what sucks about this is these things are really pretty. They're also extremely expensive. And they're also really brittle. Clearly, this is the arm right here. And you can see just from... This is the other arm that we've got here. Like... It's ratcheted, and I think in the long run, me taking this out is going to be good, because then I can get this other arm out as well and loosen the joints in it, because it is just a freaking nightmare, man. It's really, really crazy. And so yeah, gosh, I feel like I'm just kind of scrambling around on this one. I'm not sure. The problem that I have is trying to approach it, and it's this dang arm connected to a freaking chain, and I'm assuming this is what came off. Just to show you guys, this came off of here. It's like it... I don't know what that's supposed to do. Oh wait, I would assume this would like pull the chain up. So this probably isn't attached to the thing that's supposed to be turning it, which is down here or in here. So imagine this winds up the chain inside, and there's no other, like I can't find another slot to put to do a screw. What's really scary is when you look at the bottom of this thing. I don't know if it'll be able to show up, but we'll see if we can see. The bottom here has all these little... Let's see if it'll zoom in. And let me show you guys. Oh, yeah, maybe that'll show up. Right here, there's a circle. You can barely see it. And there's a circle here, circle here, circle here, here. And that means there's screws under those circles. I believe. I know there's a few, and I'm pretty sure there might be a screw under every single one of those, which means I might have to drill into those to pop them out. I would rather not have to do that freaking many of these things, but I really don't know like what to do with this thing, because it's just so freaking huge. This thing is so big, and like I said, it's very expensive, so you want to always be careful. And which I always say that and something stupid happens. It's one of those things where I literally have to kind of go around. I go around with my flathead screwdriver and kind of just kind of just poke and prod. Like, will something give way? Will something reveal? You know, like this. And like I said, the plastic is so weak and and brittle that it damages like that. Like, you could just barely get a piece of it and just kind of hang on to it, and it'll damage immediately. So there's just a lot of work. Luckily, with these things, they're so grimy, they're dingy, they're painted that way to be like kind of, you know, weathered. So going in and painting it isn't that hard to match, because a lot of it's dry brushed, a lot of it's wash. It's just really matching the base coat underneath, and then going through with, you can go through with either a sponge tool, my wife has like these little cool makeup sponges. They're like little, you can cut them into little wedges, and you put them in there, and you can just kind of go like that. It's a really good way to get like ombre effects and stuff like that, and little gradients. If you're ever in the mood for one of those. I can't tell if this comes off either, because it looks like there's a seam here and a seam here, and so it's like you want to try it, but it's just a bunch of freaking trial and error. Like, you want to see if something will pop off, but like I said, the plastic just kind of goes wherever your tool goes in a bad way. Because I can see, like, I'm just like in here, like, luckily all I'm gonna have to do in here is fill this up, have it painted, and then give it a nice little heavy wash. That's all it was, just a heavy wash around here. But I can't tell, like, do I go in, do I, you know, put a screw in here, and if I do, maybe that'll open this up. But then I'm like, we've got a seam running down here, okay, which looks like it's been almost heat pressed. We got a seam on this side running here, so this thing's got to like crack in half. And what might happen is we might be able to take this apart, and then the screws are facing down inside into the back, so we can take the screws out of this, and then it comes off. Because I don't see any other way, because since the screws are so hidden in here like so, that this had to have gone straight in. It's such a mess, dude. This one's not a this is not a friendly repair at all. Of course it's not. I take repairs from this guy, and he's very patient, so very appreciative. But I feel bad for him, because it's like, I messaged him last time like, this isn't gonna be easy, you know. See, I'm like, I'm trying to see if like this is just gonna crack off, because the less damage I have to fix, the better. Hey, don't you have some Harley Quinn figures to repair? Yeah, Jesse actually mentioned that earlier. Look at that. Boom, she's right here. Got this one out. I'll probably get to her in just a minute. Unfortunately, I've had this one like a week longer, and I just wanted to kind of show this one off because of how crazy it is. Oof, that's a scary sound, isn't it? Sweaty. Sweating in my Charlie Brownson shirt here. Maybe I should just do the Harley Quinn one, just so I don't like break out. Like, I don't want to. Oh God, I don't want to break this. It feels like what it feels like is that there's a screw or something. I can't tell if it's really good adhesive, because like some of it's like kind of popping apart right here. I feel like that's gonna break. I feel like it's gonna break, and I don't want to do that. I think there's either a screw under. I don't know if this whole thing's gonna come off, or if it's just gonna go down inside, and it'd probably be better if I just drill down in that, and then I can always take that apart. Let's see what happens. Man, I bet you anything that's a cap. Before I go drilling, I wonder if I can get it from the side. I'm trying to show you guys like what I'm doing here. Like, just that little bit of like nudge right there is already causing like cosmetic damage. It's ridiculous. I can't tell if this is like a little, if it's best to like try to go in through here, you know. Let's see, we might be able to hammer in. Let's try to hammer and see what happens. Let's see if it goes in. And lucky for me, any of the damage I cause I can fix. It's just, you know, just more time. So we got a hole in here, and it feels like that. I think it went all the way through. It did, yeah, definitely went all the way through. So that's good. So there's something. So there's definitely a gap in here, and then a hole. Oh, thanks, dude. We got a Patreon going now, guys. If you look down here, instead of giving money to YouTube, which I do appreciate, I really do appreciate the super chats, guys. I really do. But if you guys want, you can always give to the Patreon here, and I'm trying to work out some new stuff as well for you guys. I've got a lot of cool ideas coming. Like, there's got to be a 3A fan out there right now being like, he is destroying this thing. Man. I can't. It really sucks, dude, because I'm pretty sure there's these little poppers. Like I said, this isn't a... It looks worse. It looks and sounds worse than it really is, I promise you. Thanks, guys. Gosh, dang it. Y'all are crazy, man. You Migos are nuts. If you guys aren't following the Toy Migos and Jurassic Jesse, please go. There's a lot of Migos to follow, and they're always dropping some awesome news. They're one of the only online shows that I kind of catch. Besides, I'll watch Dave and Wade. But the Migos are very exciting. And they're also obviously very generous. You guys are crazy. But yeah, if you guys want that, $20, that could have got you a few months on the new Patreon thing. You could have been learning tips nobody else is gonna know. That may not be true, but we could pretend like that's true. I don't want to. I just got this like little screwdriver. Man, there might not be anything under. There's got to be something under here besides just adhesive. It's driving me crazy. The cool thing about these too is if you once you get them out, you can kind of cut this down, fill it with some sculpt, and then I've got smoothing tools that'll work on here as well. But man, I thought I saw this thing whenever I was going up under it here, starting to stress. It felt like, this thing felt like one of these caps that I pulled off earlier. Gosh, I just don't want to like snap this in half. That would really sucks. $20 is 1 gallon of gas? Jeez. Yeah, you guys, you don't, I'd rather y'all have gas. Of course. Oh, hell, man, maybe there wasn't a screw in there the entire time. See, this is one of the things I don't want to break on me. I don't even know if there's anything under here, man. This is the worst. This is sometimes the worst part, like, especially on this guy, because he's like I said, this thing's very expensive, very big, and here I am just knocking holes in it. And if, like I said, if there is a screw, screw it. I'm just gonna drill in. We've already hammered the. I was seeing if I could go in from the side earlier, but... Alright, so now we got a hole in there. And this is what I was talking about. So we put a hole in. We'll get our screw. Put it in there pretty nice. And this is either going to pull this thing out, or if the screw just rips out, then there might not be anything under here. This is part of the job, man, whenever you don't know how the thing's put together. Ah, crap. Yeah, there's not going to be anything under there. Son of a gun. What is this thing? This thing sucks. Oh my God. I hope he's not watching. If you're watching, dude, don't hear me. This is a beautiful piece of art. Oh God. Every time a piece of adhesive pops off is my heart. Is stopping it from going further, I wonder. Oh man. Getting a little sweaty. A little sweaty in here. Chris, I probably can't do that. I bet Google would kill me if I try to give the money away. They take my hands, Chris. Google would take my hands. Ah, man, I can see a stress mark starting right there, and that's why I don't like this. And it's right here in the center, dude. This feels so weird. It is complicated, man. It's it's a 3A figure, Goober. I said it earlier, and I'm not sure what it was. T-A or something. I wasn't even sure how I said the thing. Here, let's look it up. I'll type it in. Oh, it went away. This is a... Come on, internet. Type it in. One time it won't work, isn't it? TK Hunter Valley by 3A. Man, this could... Dude, you joke? This could be the next 18-inch Spider-Man. That's what sucks is this stupid backpack's the thing that's stopping me from getting to what I need to get to. And I'm getting a stress mark right here and right here, which makes me think that there's definitely a screw under there. Luckily, like I said, I can feel the hole here, so I just gotta see what's under here. Is there seriously nothing under this hole? You've just... You've got to be kidding me. I don't understand the engineering. This is driving me insane. This feels like it should have a... There should be something down here, man. There's so much. Oh, I wonder if this is a plastic peg that's like going all the way down or up into it. Where is my... I've got a pretty cool tool that I use for this. My mother had given this to me. This guy right here. You can see it's already been beaten in before, but see if we can get this in the Danko, look, if you look right up there, it's the TK Hunter. I want to know what it is by the end of this. This is the TK Hunter Valley. Every person that comes in, what is it? I don't know. Some kind of giant robot. Man, there's just like, it's so solid right here. See if I can't flatten this piece out. There's a piece on this that's kind of dinged in from hammering. You know I got a hammer. See if we can't straighten this. I'm trying to straighten it out with my kind of my method for screw straightening, really. So whenever it's like got a divot in it. I don't like it. Okay, let's see if we can't get up under here with this now. And let's see what happens. I'm trying not to. Maybe if we go in at an even keel. Because the last thing I want to do is snap it. And I can, the stress mark right here is making me so nervous. I don't think it's going any further in. Oh. Jurassic, right now, there's not a whole lot going on with the Patreon, I won't lie. I've started like, kind of like the cheaper one is I started like kind of a private Discord chat. And then there'll be, I got a sticker for each different tier, which is kind of cool. All of them are done by artists that you know, or people you might not have known that are artists. Like Casting Cave did my first tier. And then the second tier, I'm going to be doing like video chats and whatnot. Like kind of exclusive video chats in the Discord channel. And then the third one had like, you get like one of my masks, you get like voting rights for what I do next. And then any tier that you're in will allow you to, I'm thinking later on, I'm going to allow purchasable tickets to like a class of 10 people at a time. If you guys want to like have basically a one-on-one learning session, like basically online tutoring on how to fix these right here. So yeah, it's in the baby stages right now. You know, I was told that this would be a good idea for me to do, and it's kind of cool. It's neat. It's an interesting way for people to support other people. So I think that's really cool. And plus they get more of the proceeds, which is really good because man, YouTube is they like the monies. They like your money, really. And I think since like I kind of stopped doing tutorials for a while, man, I haven't got paid by YouTube in a long time. And even then it was like maybe $120 every 3 or 4 months. It's pretty wild, which it's not about the money, but dang, does it help, you know what I mean? Especially whenever you gotta buy new tools, new materials, I bought a new camera though, this one, which is awesome. It allows me to like set up way faster. Like saves me like 20 minutes of setup time. Man, I don't even, like I said, I don't even know if I'm supposed to be taking this pack piece off. It's gonna suck really bad if I'm able to get this thing off after being so dang careful. just do not want this thing to break. I'm just so afraid that I'm going to take the thing off and there's just going to be nothing under here. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I wonder if, like, if I slide this under here, will I see... No, sir. I don't like it. Oh, my God. Like... Oh, man. Oops. The worst thing about this thing, honestly, is the fact that it's freaking hanging on by a giant, like, a strong chain. Thank God for that. But it's this awkward arm just swinging around on a chain that not only is it attached, but then it comes out like it's like nunchucks almost with a freaking arm in the middle of it. So it's super awkward. It won't connect back, like, because this thing needs to be recranked or something. And man, I'm just trying to do as minimal damage as I can. And I'm looking at this thing right now. It's like, I thought I saw a seam right here along the edge. Oh, God. It's frustrating. I think I might need to move over to Harley Quinn. Yeah, let's move over to Harley Quinn, because, oh man, I don't know what to do with that right now. All right, so let's fix the Mezco Harley Quinn wrist real fast. Get Jesse off my freaking back. So you guys have probably seen this break a lot. What happens here is and we can show it here. How about this? How about we take this uncurable nightmare. We'll set it in his home back here, a dirty cardboard box. It's only dirty on the outside. So this is what happens with these female Mezco figures. You've got like minimal clearance. We're gonna be really careful trying to take this off. You want to pull straight every time you get a new like figure like these. You want to pull it straight out. You also want to be very, very careful. There's not a whole lot of bend. And the most important thing you can do whenever you get a hold of these is get yourself a sanding bit immediately, like so. I'm going to turn on a very low speed. We're going to take her hand here, or wrist peg. We're going to do this. Don't drill out the hands, just drill the peg. That way you only have to drill one thing, and it's going to fit on everything else. Alright, so that's just minimal dremeling right there. A little bit of light dremeling. We'll see how that, and you want to test it. You want to be very careful. You want to grip it with both hands, like honestly, both fingers here, both hands. I don't like the way that feels, so let's go ahead and if it's too loose, whenever you get a hold of it after you're done, you can always add a little dab of like adhesive on the end here. It'll thicken up that peg, let it dry. It'll also smooth out any kind of imperfections you might have caused or might have had, and be able to put it right back on. I also like to kind of go in at an angle like this. It makes it easier for the peg to slide in and out of the hand hole. All right, let's try this again. That was a nice pop. Not super loose. Gosh, it's that. So here's what happens too. I've been finding, I noticed, I've done this a few times and I always like kind of forget. So another problem that you're running into with these is that the smaller part right here, once you do shave this down, the thinner part of the peg, which is always obviously part that breaks, is it's really thin. So we might have to go ahead and put a little dab of adhesive on here. It's worth it though in the long run, because then you won't ever have to go through it again. And Jesse, I know you didn't ask me for this, but I'm doing it for you for free. Like I said, I do this with all my female figures that I've got, including this figure. I've actually got her right behind me in a box. But this is the way to do it, right? Just do it right out of the box. Like I said, never pull like so. Only pull out, straight out. Yeah, just Dremel the peg, man. And even, like I said, if you make it too small, it's not a big deal. Like, look at that. It's pretty good. I don't like that it's that tight, but still, it's like, watch it going in. Very nice. And then, what you probably can do is come in from an opposite angle. Be very careful so you don't hit the other plastic. And kind of come in like this, because it's just basically catching on a basically it looks like it's got a maybe it's got a sharp edge. Maybe that's what always the issue is. So we're basically doing the exact opposite, only coming in at like an angle. So we're basically making a kind of a diamond shape, rounded diamond shape. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, she's set. Cool. Don't really need the glue on there. We might put some on later just so it can have a more firm twist. But let's get to the wrist. So, I'll admit that I lost the peg to the wrist that popped out of here. It doesn't really matter because that wouldn't be reattached anyway, and all you have to do is basically copy this. And as we also know, it's going to need to be a little smoother and a little bit smaller. This is a incredibly tedious and small job. So grab your snacks and your conversation pieces, because here we go. What I do is, I guess you could consider this a slight cheat, but man, if this is a cheat, then all right. I like to find a color that's close, as close as we can get it. Let's see what we got here. This is cool. I'm not sure what that goes to. I don't know if I want to use that. Dang, that's probably dead on. Maybe we'll use it. What did this come out of? I must have got this the other day. So we're going to have to shave this down. Doorbell just rang. Let's see what's going on. Arthur's going to try to figure it out for us. Let's see, we've got, oh, this is beautiful right here. Look at this. Kind of a junky piece already kind of cut up. It's a little bright though. Dang it. So far, that one piece was pretty decent. This is pretty good too. So we're wanting to find something that's of similar color. Somebody's trying to sell us some stuff. My wife goes, no thank you. I own, as far as Dremel, the actual Dremels, I own 4. I've got these 3 here. These were actually, one was donated by High School Creations. Bless you. If you're not following High School, please do. The dude does some amazing stuff. Look at this. This is crazy. This is some of High School Creations work. Freaking dumpster, trash bags, like everything solid. This work is amazing. He didn't even put his he doesn't even put his logo or sign it, which is kind of crazy. I figured this would be prime for little high school creation sticker on the side, you know, like a tiny one or whatever. So I've got, yeah, these. He's got 3 Dremels. He's got 4 Dremels. Yeah, so I've got these 3. These have been discontinued, which really, really sucks. So I use those because they're just comfortable and perfect. And then my wife actually got me this guy. This is the 4000. This guy plugs in, so it's never going to die on you. This is for really the heavy duty jobs. And then she got me this really cool, it's not called the stylus grip, but it's essentially a stylus grip. If you were to type in Dremel grip, this is what will come up, and you can unscrew this right here, pop this on, so now it's essentially a giant stylus. See? So then that thing is amazing. It's a really incredible device. I know there's like third-party products out there for Dremel or for rotary tools, but I don't trust any other brand than Dremel. They've done me so well. The only thing that's ever broken on me on the Dremel is the stylus, which lasted like 15 years. It was nuts. So that's really good. Unfortunately, if I would have known it was going to be discontinued, I would have bought them all up. But the new stuff's really good, and then all of their bits have been incredible. The only thing that'll break on you is the drill bits, and even though that's just with anything. Drill bits are going to break, the tiny ones. So, yeah. Dude, Dremel 4000 is dope. It's a really good one. I don't see that thing like running out of juice anytime soon. So that was a really, really cool gift from my wife. And I didn't use it for a while because I didn't really have jobs that big, and then things started kind of blowing up, and oh man, the time that thing has saved me has been ridiculous. Man, I wish I could just use this. I just kind of want to get the color as close as I could. This would actually be pretty much perfect. It's kind of up to you, Jesse, though. It's like, you can see the color difference. We'll see if we can't get some better. Dang, the fit on that is really nice. Wow, it's a really good fit. Yeah, I always try, like I said, I try to find something that's of similar color. And these are looking pretty good too. She has like this kind of a tannish. I think these actually look way better, and this might actually be a better option. Let's see what these things look like, because I don't even know. I don't think I've ever used these before, so that's good. These are tiny. Let's see what we got. So I'll take usually what I'll do is I'll find something like this. I've made this out of complete scratch plastic before, but today we're going to just use this guy right here. Let's make it look as pretty as we can. Just kind of use your end nippers here, and you just kind of pry that off. Let's see how. So a lot of times the problem you run into is when you crack this open, you'll notice that it's hollow. It's way more hollow inside than you expected. However, the cool thing is that we're going to be popping this guy all the way through right here. So it looks like this actually might be a perfect fit. So check this out. What we're going to do, we're going to take our end nippers. We're going to clip that little piece off that we don't need that was on there. It's basically a little peg. I'm feeling confident on this one, especially after that big old robot just tried to break my spirit. That thing's gonna take way more work, so it's just one of those things. I just wanted I really wanted people to see it, just to be like, this is what it's like. I'm working on this thing. Okay, so what we've got here. Let's see if I can't zoom in for you, especially since the client's in the room, you know. Okay. So what we've done here is I've clipped this fairly close, about as close as my end nippers will let me go. So what we want to do is we'll take our sanding bit and we're going to sand it flat to where it's even here. Because even the size looks good on this. We kind of lucked out, honestly. That's really lucky. Especially with the flesh tone. And this is the reason I use this is because this PVC plastic, even though it's very strange. Like, this stuff breaks, right? Fairly easily, as we've seen here with the Harley Quinn. But also, it can be incredibly durable, which is why it's used. The problem you run into with these is because you don't have a full grip, or you don't have like a full base basically for your peg. Your peg is halfway on, and that's where the problem with this brake comes from quite often. You twist it the wrong way, or it's in too tight, like we saw, and almost all of these wrists are on too tight. Some of you have probably gotten very lucky without it breaking so far, and that's awesome. And I hope it never breaks on you. But if you want to make sure that it's not going to break, then you might want to sand that peg down. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and, since we've sanded this down, let's double check here. I want to make sure I use a smaller drill bit. I'm going to use a very tiny drill bit here to go directly through the center of this guy. Okay. It'll let me. It's catching on that edge a little bit. It's really trying to catch on that edge. Alright, hang on. Let me sand this down a little more flat. Okay. See if we can't go directly through the center here. It's probably just going to chew away at this peg that was in there. Like I said, it's like... Yeah, you gotta be careful. Look at that. It's having a blast in there. You see how long that's taken to go through? Isn't that impressive? I think it's impressive. Yeah, see, like Jesse said, it broke immediately out of the package. I've seen brand new ones, man. So we're going to go back through the other end. I would just drilled a hole through. We're going to take our time. I've got a larger one. I believe this is a 1.2 millimeter. So we're going to go ahead and... This will put us through the hole that we've already made a little easier. Okay. And really what you got to do here is you're going to keep it going. However, something really cool that we can do, we're going to keep with the bigger piece now because it's going to cut away a lot more. Check this out. So we're going to take our small burr bit, which is essentially, this is the biggest one. Oh, this actually isn't the biggest one anymore. This used to be the biggest one. This is perfect for like, if you're going to make, check this out. So, you know, this Harley Quinn, her head's swappable, right? Make sure we don't lose her necklace here. Put that back on. So you can see right here that this guy right here, it's like perfect for like dribbling out necks. Pop that in and then you just kind of wiggle it from side to side, go around in a circle like that, and then stop, pull it straight out so you don't dremel out, you know what I mean? You want to have like kind of a rim that goes a little bit wider, straight down and thin, and then underneath. So essentially, so the ball can get locked in. And that's why this is basically, you're imitating the opposite of this shape. So it goes just like that. Pop, pop. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to do that as well to this peg right here. As you can see, maybe, there's a big hole on the end of this piece right here that broke, right? This needs to basically pop in and not be able to pop back out. So there's a bigger, I guess an inverted lip, you could call it, on that side. And we're going to essentially recreate that. If I can get this thing out of here. There we go. I need to, oh, these are really cool, man. This is called a keyless chuck. And this is actually made by Dremel as well. I have two of these. And this guy right here basically allows you to put, you'll notice that this size, this is much larger. This is usually a pretty standard size. This is thinner. So if I were to try to put it in the one that one will actually fit into, you'll notice it won't hang in there. But the keyless chuck, right here, you can see that it tightens all the way around where you turn it. So you tighten that, boom. My buddy Clayton told me about this a while back, and I was like, man, I'm getting 2 of these babies. So I've got one on here, and then I've got another one on my 4000. I need to get 2 more at some point, but I'm El Barroco right now, so that won't be happening anytime soon. Patreon. Let's see. Let's go ahead and start dremeling out right here. And so what we're going to do, like I was saying, is we're going to dremel down into this, but not all the way through. Okay. Basically what we're going to do is make a hole, a bowl. It's going to basically be a hole with a bowl top, if that makes sense. And you can see right here, this, maybe you can see it. It doesn't go through. I mean, maybe if we pushed it hard enough, it could, but it's also like halfway. I think the burr bit is like halfway in, and what that does, it's going to allow that peg, once pressure is applied, it's going to basically pop in and stick, and then it's going to be able to twist because it's also rounded. So here's what we do. We've already actually got a spot started on this side due to honestly, we just got lucky, because this guy right here had this peg, and it's like a weird, the way the engineering is on that thing, it's like kind of a peg with almost a ring around it, a moat, so much so. So we're going to go ahead and dremel down. And I'm not pressing real hard, I'm just holding it there to let it do its job, because we don't want to push it and it go through. Be very careful if you're doing this, holding it with your hands like I am, because it can slip. And you cut your fingers, cut your fingernails. You'll see what that did was that basically added heat. So we just stuck it right here on the front and we let it stay there enough to heat up. Now let's try this one more time. You want to keep an eye on it, because once that thing heats up enough, it's going to start going. It's going to go right through that. It's going to get hot, and all that heat is going to melt right through that plastic. So you got to be really careful. I always take a straight razor blade, and what I'll do is I don't know if you can see this or not. I'm trying to do the best I can here. Maybe I can zoom in for you guys to see. Sometimes this thing wants to work. It's a pretty cheap camera. I really like it. Honestly, I really wish this would work more. There's a sweet spot right there. That's as far as I can zoom in. I'm sorry. So what happens when you're drilling into that stuff? The plastic heats up. It's got nowhere to go, so it's got to go out, right? Because it can't go in. So it goes out around the burr bit. And you'll notice now we've got like this kind of basically like a wave that just froze, essentially. So I take my razor blade carefully, and we'll just cut. I usually don't get this close to my finger. The reason I'm doing it is so I can kind of push this over and show you guys. Can you see that? There you go. So there's a ring that we just cut off. It's very, very thin, very, very small. Okay. And so what that does, let's go back in from the other side and make sure we got the whole thing. We'll hold it straight down. I want to make sure I got all that access. You don't want to like cut deep. You don't want to cut into this thing. You're just trying to basically shave away from the hole that we're drilling right now, or the bowl, excuse me, the bowl. Let's see if our wrong Dremel. Let's see if our Dremel is in. So our Dremel is doing a pretty good job. I don't know how well that's picking up on the camera right there, but we need to go in a little further because the other one went in about halfway, I'd say. Like I said, once it starts to go, it's going to go. There it goes. You basically have to hold it. You're not pushing it really. If the amount of force you're pushing in there it's not a lot, because once it goes, you don't want it to, imagine pushing on a door and somebody opens it from the inside and you go flying out. Well, if you were just like barely on that door, just kind of barely pushing with your arm, but you got stability, once it opens up, you can stop. And that's what we want to do. We want control over this, because if we don't have control over it, we're going to ruin everything. If that thing goes all the way through, it can be fixed, but it's just going to be more work. Work that could have been avoided. And I think we all enjoy that, even though whenever a problem does happen to arise, I do take that as an opportunity to teach upon, like, well, what happens if this happens during this? You know, what happens if you lock an arm while you're, I don't know, putting a screw in for a screw fix for the bicep swivels? Well, you can fix that. Okay, so now we've got our bowl cut out right here, and again, what that's going to do is we're going to pop that in, and it's going to pop out. Don't worry, Jesse, I will not lose control. It's L-O-S-E, just one O. Lose control. I am a grammar punk. I'm so sorry. I love you, Jesse. If you guys aren't following Jurassic Jesse, please go and follow him, because, oh, Jesse, you would really like my friend, my old buddy from, I think I met him in ACBA days. His name's Thomas Knott, K-N-O-T-T. And he is amazing. And he's got a crazy big dinosaur TikTok channel with dinosaur toys. I think you'd love him. If you don't already know him, which you probably do, know in your circle and your charisma. So we're going to go ahead and Dremel a hole through this with our bigger 1.2 millimeter drill bit. Sorry, Cap, you know I had to. Hey, if anybody's looking for some Storm Collectibles boxes, Captain McKay might be able to get you some on the cheap. I'm so proud of you, Cap. We've got a hole right here. Man, hang on. I don't think his name is... Hang on, let me double check for you. I'll give this dude a shout out. He's amazing. He's got a freaking ton of followers too. It's bananas, man. I mean, it doesn't surprise me because the dude's a sweetheart. He was one of my guys that like loves Nightcrawler as much as me, which is awesome to find. Gosh, I think I'm probably eating up like all my internet here. I don't have a whole lot. Let's see. What's he going by now? His name's Thomas, not... That's his real name. How do you even check, like... Wouldn't he be like... He's like the last guy I started following. Oh, yeah. So his name on there is... Here, I'll type it in. This is kind of strange. So you're going to look for... Let's see. At the real... Ornelius. I think I said that right. Ornelius. Yeah. On TikTok. I don't know if that's his name on Instagram. Duh. Okay, back to it. We're going to fix this. So we've already dremeled in again here. We want to double check. This side's looking pretty good, really. This side's looking good as well. I want to make sure that it's a little more even on this side. So we'll go ahead and kind of... It's kind of hard to cut evenly with a razor blade when you're going sideways like that and you can't really see it. Okay, that's looking pretty dang sweet right now. Let's go in from this other side. I'm going to try to go around and get rid of some of this. I see some excess, and I want to get rid of it. Let's go ahead and Dremel this out. I wish you guys could see what I'm seeing right now. There's like just this kind of inner ring of stuff in there. Okay, so what we want to do now is we're going to attempt to basically push this in here, and hopefully it'll click in What I want to use, though, are specific pliers. I don't necessarily... Here we go. I really like these. You guys who followed me for... You didn't have to follow me that long, but those who followed me for a while know exactly what I'm about to say. These are my favorite pliers right here. Although, I think I've got some glue. Look at all that glue. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I treated you so badly. It's got a little nook right here. You see that? And this is amazing for pegs and whatnot. Yeah, I didn't TikTok either, but you know. Nobody said Mezco 3 times. Is it because Bill is repairing a Mezco that Fobster shows up? Wait, Fabio showed up in here? I love Fabio. He's cool. He's a nice dude. He's a really nice guy. So here we go. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to get this as even as we can. Luckily, we've got a nice peg to hold on to here. And we're going to carefully press down. You can see how it's kind of sandwiched in like that? The last thing you want to do is to just crush that thing down and that peg to go and break or bend, and then you're losing the integrity. You don't want to do that. So I'm just going to try to push it down a little more because it's kind of going, but I think we're going to have to make the hole bigger. Yeah, we don't want to break anything. Let's see if we use this piece from the inside. See if that'll do it for us. And like I said, or I didn't say it, but there is a very small sweet spot right here, because keep in mind what we are having to do basically, this is how much room, see that fingernail? That right there in between this little, I need a pointer over here. So in between this tip edge here that's a lot bigger and wider on top, and then right here, this is it. This is the only margin. There's not even room for error, really. It's like, this is how much room we have to Dremel in. And it's actually a little less than that because we want to make sure this goes all the way to the top in. Jesse, look at that. I'm proud of you. Oh, you took... See, people always get upset when it's like, well, it's actually spelled like this. Now, it does depend on how you say it to somebody. You have to be nice if you're trying to teach somebody. That's... Sometimes you gotta be a little mean if they don't listen, but you know, try not to be a little mean. You don't have to be a little mean. Don't be a little mean. You know what I mean? I think you know what I mean. You're awesome, Jesse. I think you're freaking great. So you notice there's a lot of back and forth. What happened here was whenever just now I used the same method to make the bowl shape on this. Well, I went in on the other side to try to make the bowl shape because we're going to need that as well on this side. Reason being is because the peg wasn't going in. So sometimes you gotta, do that. And the number one thing I can tell you to do is be patient. Like earlier with the robot, you probably saw me like, I ham it up for the camera a lot of times because I think it's funnier that way. And I am frustrated. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I don't get frustrated, but it's funnier. It's funnier to do it that way. You know what I mean? People are like, wow, this guy's losing control. It's like, nah, I'm good. Now, I did lose it in front of my buddy Ryan. Whenever I did that 18-inch Spider-Man, dude, I was like, it was this. It's this where you're like, he's sweating. And he's like, stupid ponytail messing with my head. Why won't the ponytail stay in? And I'm looking down here, and I'm just working on this Spider-Man, and it's just like expletive. New expletive. What does that word mean? Oh, it means this Spider-Man. It's specific to this Spider-Man. So anyways, that one wasn't fun, but normally if you see me kind of losing, don't get too worried for me. I'm usually doing all right. Doesn't mean I don't want your support, but just know your boy's got himself usually under control. Usually it's whenever, that's when Christine probably needs to start keeping her camera handy, is whenever I walk in there after she's heard me curse in here, I'll walk in there, I'll be like, ain't working. This thing ain't working. I've tried it 17 times and this don't work. And she offers like no, she'll offer like a little bit of help, but even she's like, she's cautious to do it because she knows I'm gonna be like, no, that won't work. I see, I already did that. She's like, well, maybe you should take a break. And I'm like, I don't need to take. I'll walk back in here and usually do it. Sometimes every time I take her advice, it's better for everybody. You know, breaks are good, guys. Breaks are good. I hate taking them. God, I hate taking them, but they're worth it every single time. Turn this over here so you guys can actually see me. Because that's what you came here for, right? Was my face. Not for these decadent repairs. Kind of stuttered there. A little nervous, sorry. I probably need to fix like my dude down here. Look, he's like, oh look, I got like something in my nose now. It's like I'm smelling. It's like I'm smelling his wonderful hair. It's like, smell the blonde. That's good. That's good blonde. That's good blonde. What is happening? All right, let's let's get back to it. That's what you came here for. The weird. All right, so I believe I was saying this a minute ago, but let's just get back into it. When I redid this side over here, trying to make the bowl shape on this, what it does is all that heat and plastic, the plastic softens, and it kind of closes up that hole a bit. So whenever you saw me going to Dremel in, you'll notice if you were paying attention there, it took me a minute to kind of get in there. Let's go ahead and try to Dremel a little bit. Let me see how far we're in. Yeah, see, it kind of pushed it away a little bit. I'm in now. All right, so I'm just kind of trying to be really careful. You know, while that's a little heated, while that's a little warm, and since we've kind of cleaned up everything we need to clean up now, right now we're in the end game for this part, right? So we're gonna go back through again. We're gonna find that center. Don't have it off center. It's not good to have it off center. Ooh, come here, you. I think we just have to go in a couple more times here, guys. Sorry. This is kind of the name of the game. It's a little nerve-wracking because you can put, how much work do we put in this? An hour now? Probably solid hour, solid 40 minutes. And you can screw all that up if you lose patience and you try to rush through, speed through this. I think it's gonna be a very solid repair though, because the ones that you take your time on generally do. Like I said, let's try to. Oh god, it's tough because like how small. Keep in mind this is like maybe a 1/4 inch long, maybe. Ugh. All right, let's try to get it again. I was crushing it a minute ago, and now dude, my hands will start cramping up. It's like rough. I'll be at this like sometimes like 5-6 hours. Not generally on the same like stuff like that, but if I had to like Dremel a lot, one time I did I want to say it was like 12 McFarlane thigh mods in one night, and my hands were dead. It was rough. Man, this guy just ain't wanting to go in there. Let's make the hole a little bigger. That's all we can do. Another thing you can do is I've got a pretty cool tool, if need be, but I'd rather keep this a straight shot, is I've got a cone-shaped sander, which is really neat. So whenever you're doing something like this, it's not going to go and do a straight shot. It's actually going to go in and leave the bottom part a little more wide, which might actually not be a bad idea if we go in one way with this. Let's try this one more time. If this doesn't work, maybe we'll try that. We'll try that sanding cone. Oh man, this is nice. All right, so we got her in. You can see here that we've got, so what happened is I didn't quite, looks like I was off center by maybe point, maybe 0.2 millimeters. And that's okay. So what you can do is this. You can go in with your sanding bit. I think this big one will work. I have a smaller bit. Hey, my man Bob the Odds here. What's up, dude? Oh, Naren, what's going on? I'm so sorry. I've been kind of ignoring you guys. I'm trying to get this thing working. That's why I need to get like Ori on here so we can freaking moderate these chats. He's good at that, dude. He's really good at that. Okay, so what we have to do now, since this is like slightly off, what we're going to do is we're going to shape our new piece to be the same size as the old piece. And it's just a little light sanding. It's not even that, it's not that much off. Remember, like I said, it's like maybe 0.2 off. You just sand it a little bit. And so what you do is you sand that, and then you twist this around here, and you'll sand again, because if that's off, it's off somewhere else. You always want to make sure that you're kind of coming in at an angle, because we're wanting this, remember, we're wanting it to be round. We'll just kind of shape it up a little bit. I think this was just a slight bit bigger than our original one, which is better than it being smaller. Yeah, so we'll go all the way around, and then that'll allow you to shape it up and make sure it's nice and smooth. No matter where it's turned, you want it to be nice and smooth. So if there's any anomalies in there, it can cause breakage, unnecessary friction in your articulation, all that fun stuff, which is actually not fun. It's the opposite of fun. It brings tears. Okay, I think we're doing all right here. There we go. Okay, and while you've got probably some excess plastic here, you can take your razor blade. Be very careful with this because you don't want to cut the peg off. You can scrape it. A lot of times it'll come off with like a simple scrape, or you can kind of cut. Use the use your good side as a guide. So it's like, we want to make sure that we don't cut into our good side, so we'll just kind of use the good side as a guide. There's your rhyme. For you kids out there that love rhymes, there you go. Let's just kind of round this out a little more, smooth it. It's looking really nice. It's funny, sometimes I'll get these. It's like, hey, you do these a lot. This is a pretty easy job for you, right? We've been here an hour, if Yeah, you guys are not gonna be having my echo read out freaking chats, dude. Whenever I leave chats, a lot of times the video chats that we're in, like Corey and Nolan in them, they'll freaking mess with me, man. And Bob, they'll have her like start playing weird music when I get back. I'm like, what is going on? The joke's on them though, because the internet has been so terrible lately. It can't seem to hang with anything. So it plays a song for like 30 seconds and then cruds out on me. I really wish I could just listen to whatever music I wanted to while I do these streams. I love listening to music while I work. It's my favorite thing to do. It's my second favorite thing to do. My favorite thing to do is to do it in front of you guys here. Doing it live. Okay, so now that we have this nice and smooth and pretty, we're not done. You know what's next? Next, we gotta shave down the peg, because there's no way this thing's going in here, man. Look at that. What are we doing? No way. What you want to do is we're going to try to match this essentially, right? Basically. So we're going to take this and we're going to just go even around it. Some of you might be saying like, well, Bill, why wouldn't you just cut it shorter? Because I don't want to take the chance of cutting it too short. If you cut this too short, oh man, that would suck. So we're just gonna slow and steady. We're basically gonna cut it to essentially its thickest width, and then we can shape the end where it's a little more rounded out. Let's see here. We're going to keep on. Basically what I do is I'll kind of hold it in my hands like so. And I kind of treat it as like a rotisserie chicken eventually. Look at that. Like you kind of... go around like that. This is nice. Once again, guys, just the normal YouTube rhetoric. If you're having a good time, if you're enjoying something, if you've learned something, click the like. You can even comment on here, man. You can do that if you want. I love the chat, guys. I like that you guys enjoy it here. And if anybody's new here, please feel free to check out the Patreon down below. It would be cool. If not, I get it. It's an investment. No hard feelings for those of you who can't afford or just don't really feel like getting involved with that. Don't blame you. I support 2 people on Patreon, so I've always been a strong believer. This is not a guilt trip, but like finding good Kickstarters. There's a really awesome Kickstarter out right now called Drop Shadow, and it's a guy doing an independent comic of a character named Drop Shadow who is like a graffiti artist superhero kind of deal, and he lives in like Canvas City, and then there's like an enemy I think called Comic Sans and a girl named Heather Gray, and I'm like, oh, this is super cool. It's like $15 I think for the physical copy of it, and he's giving out stickers now. And but yeah, look up Drop Shadow Kickstarter if you guys are looking for a cool comic, something original, and it's the start of one as well. And you could help out an independent artist, which is always awesome. You know what I mean? I think it's really cool. But just a little plug there. Sorry I don't have the... my friend Clayton told me about it, and I jumped on there as soon as he told me about it. Guy seems really, really cool. And he's already successfully got the Kickstarter off the ground. So it's funded. Pretty cool. And we're going to keep on shaping this guy up. Just going to keep on shaping. The cool thing about this too is that this is going to be, should be in the end, it'll be stronger than the Mezco factory one that they sent with it. And you see, we're just taking our sweet time here, slowly whittling down this thicker plastic. It's starting to get to that point where it's like it's so close to like my fingers that it's hard to. You have to be very careful when you're doing it, not just to catch your fingers, but to also make sure that every move of your Dremel is intentional and that you're not slipping up, you know what I mean? This thing can go flying. That happens to me all the time. Whenever I start getting closer to the end job, I don't know if I'm just getting lazy or that I've run out of real estate, maybe a little bit of both, maybe I'm tired, maybe my grip's weakening on it, but if you're not focused, you can send this thing flying and an hour plus of work could turn into even more because you're on your hands and knees on the ground looking for this freaking thing, and who knows where it landed, you know? Alright, we're gonna keep sanding this guy. Like I said, this is the life here. Appreciate you guys sticking through this. This is crazy that got a whole Mezco shaping on here tonight. This is pretty awesome. Like I said, keep it nice and smooth. That's why we rotate it. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and scrape a little bit off. Any excess, we want to get all that nasty off. Okay, it's looking pretty decent. We can clean it up a little more. Now it's still way too long. This is way too long. So what we're gonna start doing now is we'll come in at an angle. You don't want to like drill straight down on it because a lot of times it can cause, like if it's hitting that thing and it's just for some reason it's catching on your sanding bit, it could crack. It could break it. So we don't want that. You want to make sure that it's very, and plus this is going to get you with a rounded end anyways, which is pretty good. So what we're going to want anyways whenever it gets down to it. And so while you're doing that, just kind of cut off a little bit of this, and then you can go around it, so kind of smoothing it out. So kind of sand it, and then go around. And you'll see a little piece of plastic flies off just about every time. It's that excess. You'll notice that I'm coming in, kind of sawing at it. That helps get rid of the plastic a little faster. Like I said, this stuff's pretty tough. You saw just how long it took to kind of break through some of that stuff earlier. That's just due to the way this plastic is. Looking pretty good right now. Alright, let's go ahead and keep sanding down the diagonals here. We're gonna get pretty close, because like I said, there's not really, you don't need a whole lot of peg, but you also don't want to cut it too short to where it won't pop in and stay in. That would suck. If that does happen, generally you can add like a little dab of adhesive on the end and let it dry, and generally that would probably give you the amount you needed. Because usually if you went too short, it's just barely too short. I'm starting to kind of go in and shape it now. Like I said, it's basically going to match the length of the other side. So when it comes down to it, you're wanting, look how short that is. And this is still like, this is probably about a third too long of what, so we need to probably cut off about a third of it. Make sure everything's nice and smooth, coming from the base down to the peg. some sand. Sand some more. And sand some more. We're going little by little now. We're hitting the home stretch, guys. Almost there. You kind of barely hit that tip of that peg if you want. If there's any kind of excess plastic, but be very careful that it doesn't catch too much. And you want the inner peg to be just a little bit thinner. Just a little bit, not too much. I think we're looking good. We're about to test it now. We'll see what happens here. Oh man, I see people talking about the Mafex Azrael Batman. Oh man, what a great one. He's definitely a staple in my collection now. I love that. That's my favorite Batman though. I love how crazy JPV was, man. Like, this is just the crazy. Like, dude broke Joker's arm. Punched Robin, choked him out. I was like, you shut up. I don't know, dude was just nuts. I like though that he was obviously crazy, and how Bruce Wayne is just like, I'm not crazy, they're crazy. It's like, okay, Bruce. Trying to make sure something's kind of caught right here. I'll make sure to get that. There we go. Just had to smooth that out a little bit. You know, I just thought of something. I bet if I was to take like a small piece of like sandpaper or something like that and just kind of roll it, that would probably help drastically. I don't think I have that. I do have like one of these blocks nearby. Just to kind of... God, I hate the feel of sandpaper, dude. I just despise it. Kind of funny profession to be in, I know, but... Alright. Most of the stuff will come off if you just scrape it with your fingernail or whatnot, so... Alright, I think we're good. Let's go ahead and let's test this while we hold it. Voila. So that was actually a pretty good fit. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and heat up this wrist so we can pop this guy back in, and then I do believe we'll let it cool and our hand should be good. That is actually a wonderful fit. I'm very, very proud of that one. Very happy. You do not have to heat these up very much. That's probably enough. These things are so dang thin. Okay, there we go. We got our hand in there. Okay. And her sleeve goes down actually a little further than that, but there you go. That's where it needs to be. We're going to let that cool for just a minute, because we don't want to try to pop that thing out and it pull out the all the work we just did. Oh gosh, my leg. The next thing I've got to do for Jesse is crazy. It's something, like I said, I've been playing with for a few days now, trying to find the right spot to cut it open. But I need to remove this outfit here, and I know I've got to do it through the back here. I just want to make sure that I'm cutting a thread and I'm not cutting the plastic. I'll set Harley off over here. That's phenomenal. I'm very happy with that. Yeah. So I've been going in with I've got this, like I said, this new thing here. And I've been going in through like trying to stay away from scraping any of the black, just because it's like that faux leather. You can kind of get all the way in like so. And I know the threading doesn't go up that far, but it's trying to find the right piece, because it's basically an inverted stitch. You stitch it from the inside. I can't remember if I've ever stitched live on here before. Anyways, I've gotten pretty decent at doing the Mezco stitches now. I can tell that it's a much tighter stitch up these sides here. I would much rather do it on this red stitch or this red piece if I had to. But it's super, like, this is so clean. It's like, it's a really nice stitch, I won't lie. This is a really, really, really nice stitch. And I know all I have to do is cut one spot, but I just want to make sure that it's going to give me less work to do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do more, and I dang sure don't want to, like, have it stretched out at a certain spot. Like, this is what I've been doing. Like, I've tried to, like, kind of, I was hoping that it might either, like, show me a tear, like, just in the small spot, because, like, right here you can see that we've, like, I've almost got it all the way through. Like, the stuff stretches really, really well, and I try not to go too crazy with it. You know, we don't want to, you know, permanently stretch it. But either way, right here is where we'll be pulling it down anyways. And I'm just trying to find, like, the where the stitch is at. It's just having a tough one. I don't know if I'll get the other one done tonight. I won't get the other one done tonight, Jesse. I don't know if I could do that on YouTube due to the exposure on this figure. Luckily, we've got a little bit of tape there, so probably can't do that one on the YouTubes. Might get banned. Might get flagged for that, and we don't want that. But we can. Let's see if we can double check this. I think this should be good. Let's see if this will pop out for us. Oh man, it's so smooth. See, this right here. This is the shape. This is the shape that they should have made them. You can see here that this one's really thin, and then it goes thicker, and this one stays, it's just slightly, there's a slight bump. And man, oh man, this just feels so much better, dude. Bop. Oh, I can hear it. I can hear the pop, and then there's not as much tension coming off. Cause, oh man, yeah. Need like a, it's because it gets hung up on, there's like a notch, and if they just did this at a kind of at a smoothed out angle instead of putting a hard peg on there, it would stay just as well, and it wouldn't be so hard to pop off at the end, and people wouldn't be like trying to yank the dang thing off so hard. Pops on well. Oh yeah, that's much better. Yeah, that's what I want. You can feel it. You can feel it when it's hung up, and you just don't want that. Man, this one feels really good now. This one's just like slightly loose now, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna put just a little bit of JB Super Weld on here, just a tiny bit, and I can show you guys how to do that. Because it's usually what happens with this thing. What can happen with this thing is you get on here, and right here gets too thin in the middle, basically. And so what you can do is you can take a small depth. Now you want to be really careful that you don't get it on the seam of the joint. So make sure you get it in the right spot. I think it's going to be right here. We don't want to do a lot. It's way too much. Hang on. Generally what I'll do is I'll kind of, instead of like putting it near the end or near the actual joint, I'll put it on the tip of the joint. And you could take either a toothpick or whatever you have nearby. I'll usually take something like this, just because I can scrape this off, like this tool right here. I can scrape it off with a razor blade later on, and all the glue will just come right off. So what you want to do is kind of get slightly closer. Try not to touch that joint half, like right here where it actually moves, because that could be a big problem. If you do happen to get a little bit of glue on there and it seems like it's slightly stuck, what you can do is you can take a razor blade and come in from this angle or this angle. Do not try to come in from right here because it could snap it trying to go straight. And usually that will break it up pretty well for you. What we're doing right now is it's going to smooth out the entire thing instead of having like that awkward peg right here. And it's also going to thicken up like the spot that's closer to the actual hinge. And so that's just going to work for an overall more smooth, even glide. And that's what we want. So I'm actually going to set her over here, standing up, away from everybody else so that she doesn't fall over and get super glue all over everybody, because that's gross. We don't want that. And wow, I've actually got 16 minutes left. I'm impressed. Actually went pretty well. So that's about the gist of a Mezco wrist peg replacement. I don't know how to fix those little guys any other way. It's basically I make them from scratch. I make a half from scratch. There's nothing worse than when somebody sends me one and they don't have either half. Like if you have a half, then you can shape another half to fit that half. But if you don't have anything and you have to try to fit something in there, if you don't have like the right size joint, it's like I've made smaller joints out of big joints before and it sucks. It's hard, and a lot of times they fail. They'll fail on you right there. Sucks. I don't like that. But you know, that's how it goes. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely want to try to open this up though, because if I do, I could get to it tonight. I will be using that Fison body, like I said, to replace the Mezco body in here. Once that takes place, I'll be putting on these gloves here, because if you touch that Fison body, and it gets something on, man, those are hard to clean, and everything wants to like stick to those things. It sucks. So we don't want to do that. But yeah, I could try to see here for the last. Let's see, we can do about 8 more minutes maybe. That'll give it 14 minutes. All right, we can do that. I want to double check what we got going on here. And like I said, I'm trying to find the right spot to stitch. It's kind of crazy because like a stitch isn't coming out with it. Let's see what happens if I was to look at it through the magnifying glass here. Get it angled right so I'm not looking at it like a crazy person. I don't think it's really going to show up for you guys, is it? And it's weird because I can't tell if the thread is black or red. I would assume red, but maybe black. I don't know. Maybe it's black. Maybe black would make more sense. Oh, I think it is black. Oh, I think I found it. Trying to think of how best to grab this. I need something probably a sewing needle wouldn't hurt. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I've also got these cool pins. These Corsage pins. I just leaned my freaking arm down on that screwdriver that I used to lace the super glue with. So, yay for super glue in my arm hair. Isn't that great? It's not. The answer is not. Okay, so we're going to take this Corsage needle. And I'm going to see if I can't find this thread, which I think I found it. Ooh, you little jerk. I think I found it. Yep. It is indeed a black thread. So what do I do in a situation like this? I go through to get the thread exposed like this. So right now you can't even see it on that, can you? No, you can't. What I'm gonna do though is, so the thread is right here, and so what I'm gonna do is this. We're gonna cut this thread because there's no other way around this, guys. There's not an easy way to do this. So we're gonna kind of use our razor here to cut right through. And what that did was opens up the threading. And instead of using a sharp piece, I'm going to use a blunted edge here, so it just kind of pulls the threading with it. You can just kind of gently move this along. And what it's doing right now is I'm pulling the thread through the holes. You don't want to keep on cutting it, you know what I mean? And so here's our thread. So we do have black thread. So that's cool. That's an easy one to match. Let's go up a little bit here. I'm trying to stay away, seeing if I can stay right around here and not go any further than this part. That way I'll bring this down. We'll start here because this rides up a little bit here. And so my plan, there we go, let's just keep going. I'm interested to see how this works right here in the center. Let's see if I can go over here, start kind of working it from here. I don't want it to I don't want the threading to go up the center or down the center. I just want it to stay right here in the middle, going all the way across. And I'm hoping this allows me to do that. Come on. We're gonna get there. There we go. The cool thing is when you're ready to go back in and whatnot, you can actually see, you can go back in through the existing holes, or you could go every other hole if you wanted to, if you wanted fresh. But you should be fine to just go. I always go through the holes that they give me, if I can. Trying to see what we've got going on here in the center. Something's going on here. It feels like there's an extra thread, which I imagine there is, to keep all of this together. Let's see what we got here. Like I said, if I could avoid having to sew up, gosh, man, because yeah, this almost looks like it's glued on. I don't even see any stitching. I see the stitching down the butt, but this right here looks like it's adhered on. So that's actually, that might be a good thing. Push the thread or the fabric up. Sorry guys, you can't even see that. See if I can't push the fabric up from here. I feel like it's just knotted up right here. So I'm pulling that down, pulling the threading down there. I'm interested to see what this actually looks like. This is my first time to undo, I believe, one of the female bodies. I've redone Doctor Strange, Deadpool, a couple others. I can't remember who else it was. Okay, cool. Yeah, so definitely able to, yeah, so the bottom and top look like they're kind of just attached right here together. They must have done a double stitch or something, or put something on there. This is good. This is good. Okay. Like I said, use our blunted edge again. Yeah, you'll definitely have to sew. Yeah, there's no getting around this one. Most of the time, there isn't anything really you can do about this. If there's a broken shoulder joint now, used to, I'd try to go as far as I could and stretch it out, man. I remember Darius sent me, or excuse me, D Amazing sent me one of the Captain Americas, man, and I did everything I could to fix that shoulder, and oh man, I wrecked it. I fixed the shoulder, but it was trying to stretch the top, and all those little adhered on scales just were flaking off. And I mean, they were flaking off easy too. It sucked. I was just like, dude, these are gonna flake off. And he's like, that's okay. He was cool about it, but I was like, that sucks, man. I feel like I mean, you could definitely glue them all back on, but ugh, imagine that. I'm an Aquaman fan, and even I'm like, that doesn't sound fun. Okay, so what we're gonna try to do here is, I guess, maybe we can, because the pants want to come off last, so maybe we can push these pants up just a tad, you know. All right, hey, yeah, in an hour, guys, Toy Migos start up, so don't miss them because it's the freaking Migos, dude. Like, you can't miss them, so don't. Do yourself a favor, don't miss them. Take care, Jesse. Thanks for stopping in, dude. I'm glad you got to see me fix at least one of them. This is going to be a much longer, probably boring process. Although I probably could have got a ton of like clicks if it was like undressing Harley Quinn, and people would be like, "Ooh, that's spicy. What is that? That's provocative." I don't know. People can be weird. Yeah, we're gonna try to. So this also does go halfway up, but I'm trying to see if I can't stretch the red fabric here. Oh man, I don't want to like rip it. That's the last thing I want to do is rip it. My friend Ori, you guys know Ori. Ori was telling me that I might have to go up the side here, and I'm really trying to avoid that because it's weird. Like on this steel, there's like this white, and I can't tell if that was like fabric glue or what that was, but it's interesting. Anyways, yeah, trying to get this to kind of pull and slide, and I think, oh, look at that. If we lift this up here, this is going to give us a little more give. If we stretch her pants up a little further, I think we can. Oh, careful. Don't want to rip it. Pull the sleeves. Kind of pull. I'm trying to stretch this on the bottom here as much as I can to kind of give it just that extra oomph it's going to need to try to stretch forward. This dang seam right here is giving me trouble. Okay, we're over one shoulder on this side. Usually it's just getting over that hump, and once you do it, the rest just kind of follows, usually. Oh man, this stupid neck ball is going to be a problem, isn't it? Probably should have popped it out. Sorry guys, I think I was out of frame. Okay. Let's see if we can't go under here without... It'd actually probably be smarter to do this with something that doesn't have a sharp end on it. Oh, I thought that was it. I thought we had it. It looks dangerous, but I'm being very careful here. I just keep slipping. Come on. I told you the ball. I knew the neck ball was going to be a problem. I knew it. There she goes. Also, what you want to do is not leave that stretched out. Whatever you do. Go ahead and bend those arms in. Get that thing stretched out or unstretched. Get it off. You can see that thing took a lot of stress. And the black looks really good. Really clean. Not stretched. Boom. There you go. And so next up, what I'll be doing, not on camera, because is I will be putting this onto this body here, which is a Fison TB League body, and this thing is it's very soft, I guess you would say. It's almost like silicone. I think it's covered in silicone kind of body, and it's got a like a steel frame. If you guys aren't familiar with this figure, It's really cool. It's weird though because it is anatomically accurate, I guess you would say. Kind of odd, but it's really the articulation's really good. So it's gonna be awesome. It's a pretty common swap for Harley or Catwoman, just because the body fits in the suit. And I'll have to figure out what I'll be doing for the ankles and modding the wrists, and yeah, popping the head on there and see what happens. But thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. Um, Appreciate y'all. Like I said, if you can afford it, if you want to support, um, there's a Patreon now. I feel like I'm always talking about it, so I'm sorry. I'm sure that's really annoying. I just want to make sure that if people don't know, if people didn't read that or didn't, because there's nothing to really click on. It's in the link up there. It's pinned in the link. If you guys want to check it out, um, it does seem bare right now because it is. I'm trying. There's there's like I want to do a lot for it, and I'm just wondering. It's like, do I need to get content, put the content up there, and be like, hey, it's in there. You can go get it. But it's gonna be more. It's more based on like one-on-one education, more not one-on-one, but more. I don't want to say intimate because it sounds strange, but you know what I'm saying. Like more of a personal experience for people, to support. Like the extra stuff I want to give is to those who really want it, you know, and are obviously showing that. So that'd be really cool. I know it's a big ask. It's not even an ask. It's just if you guys can, cool. And once we get people in there, man, we can really get that thing going. For those of you who've already joined, thank you so much. I got something really special planned for you early guys. It's going to be really cool. I'm super excited to do it. Just as a huge thank you to you. So it's a little secret for you. All right, guys. It is 9:01. Guys, the Toy Migos come on in an hour on the Toy Migos channel. So go over there and watch them, enjoy them, laugh, love, interact with them. They're amazing people. They're one of the groups that I actually support. I'm on there monthly, so they're really awesome. So please go check them out. Hope you guys have a great night, a great weekend coming up. Dude, I get to freaking meet my man Corey from Casting Cave. He's one of my best friends. I've never met him in person. I talk to this guy all the time. He's like a brother to me. And I get to meet him for the first time on Saturday. It's going to be freaking crazy. I'm so excited. My buddy Bob's going to be there. I don't get to see him as much, so I'm super excited. It's going to be a good day. My man Clayton's there. Liddell. It's going to be a good day. So anyways, I'm looking forward to this weekend. I hope you guys are looking forward to your weekend. I hope you do have plans. They're amazing. If you don't have plans, then chill, relax. I love you guys. And as always, please take care of each other and know that the impossible just takes a little longer.